You have the desire, and you look to your outer material world and hope that it comes. And you have this made up time frame in your head for when you think it should arrive, right? So you think to yourself, okay, the desire, 3 months. 3 months, you write that down. You think 3 months, and it has to arrive by then. There's no way. It must arrive by 3 months. And if it doesn't, then I don't know. It has to. So after 3 months to the day, it never shows up. So you get discouraged and you ask why? Because on paper, you're going through you on paper here, you took the actions, you did the things, and it should have arrived by then because you wrote it down, you did the thing. But nothing. So you become a little bitter because the desire didn't arrive in this made up time frame that you had in your head, right? So all the practices, techniques, dreams, ambitions, you get a little hardened. You kind of throw it out the window. But you fail to realize what happened. At the energetic level, you were still operating from an old concept of self, from the same old self-concept, the same old identity. So you were chasing, you were needing, you were doing these things, just clicking the buttons, doing the inputs out of scarcity. You were doing these things out of, I'm going to prove them wrong. I can't wait 3 months. I'm going to get the thing. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'll show them. Still leaning on external results. Still waiting on the external results to change your internal concept of self. I mean, is this not the foundational teaching? Still waiting on external results to change your internal concept of self. I mean, it's sneaky. It's sneaky, man. And I tell you this exact story right here because this is exactly what I went through. When I started my digital marketing service a few years ago, and I've since got into YouTube and coaching here, I had 3 months. I was like, 3 months? Yep. Perfect. The question is, how much conviction can you hold when there's not a speck of evidence in your outer world? When there's not a speck of evidence, can you still hold a high concept of yourself? Can you still think highly of yourself when your results would say otherwise? Can you let go of the idea that you think you know how it's supposed to work out? There's this one way that you think it should go, and if it doesn't work that way, it's not good enough. When in reality, there's an infinite number of ways that you can get to your end goal. There's an infinite number of ways that it works out for you. But the challenge is holding a high concept of yourself. This is my challenge to you. How much conviction can you hold when there's not a speck of evidence in your outer world? When you're broke? When you have no money? When you have zero money, man? This is the experience that I had. And that's a painful one. That's a very insecure one, a very vulnerable place, right? When you have negative money, you don't have zero money, you have negative money, and you owe people money. and you're borrowing money from people, when you feel reality just mocking you right to your face, can you still think highly of yourself? That's what's going to be the needle mover for you. Your concept of self. Can you still think highly of yourself when all that stuff is happening? And it's not going to be perfect. Okay? It's not going to be perfect. 99% of you could be just going through it, man. 99% of you. Think about this. 99% of you could be going through it. You're crying. You're just a mess, seemingly a mess on the outside, right? But then there's the 1% of you that is untouched. That is cool as a cucumber in the background. And that is your high concept of self. That 1%, man. That's what you get in touch with. And like I said, it's not going to be perfect. Some days you'll be at 60% with a high concept of self, right? Those times you'll be at 1%. But can you still think highly of yourself? Can you still have that place, that energetic part of you that is just unmoved, untouched, unfazed? Because your success will depend on it. Your success depends on how well you can hold ground at an energetic level. From like a nervous system type level, that unmoving, solid ground, how well you can hold ground right there. So you hold that ground. When the material and the emotional weather is going on, right? There's a lot of weather things happening. Can your foundation hold right there? Your high concept of self. See, you think you know how it's supposed to work. But maybe that 3-month thing that you experienced, like I experienced, maybe that 3-month thing, maybe your self-concept just needs some more character development there, right? Some more hardening. A little smack in the face. But it's about that 1% place, man. Can you still hold a high concept of yourself when the weather is happening, when you're broke, you got no money, you have negative money, you owe people money? Can you still hold a high concept of self? That's the energetic level, man.